Singing in 5, 4, 3, 2. Currently an international agency signed model in the U.S.
What can you say, Rabia?
I am actually trying to remember what I said on the stage earlier, but my mind is blank right now. So I'm not sure if I did well.
Let's just enjoy the moment.
Yes, I am. I am enjoying it. If I'm going to compare Miss Universe Philippines to my former pageant, I must say that it's kind of different because in the first place, we don't have any audience. So it's just us, the staff, the production team. But I really do appreciate the fact that every time we go out, every one of them would clap for us. And it's very hard to brighten up the mood during that moment. But you know, I remember Mama J, Miss Shamsi, Miss MJ Lasimosa, they were all clapping for us.
Coming from a pageant in 2018 that was staged in an arena, you know, you really find that energy. You want to feed off the energy of the crowd, of the people cheering your name. Whether it's not your name, you know, you just feed off everyone around you. And that's what I was looking for during the prelims because it was our first run through the whole pageant, and the first feeling when you step on stage in an empty studio with only the production and the judges there. So it was hard to muster up that energy to get that groove when you walk on stage. And I must say, watching everybody in preliminaries, it was so different from watching the girls on finals. Because in come finals, we had a different aura. We knew how to get that energy, and you have to get that energy through yourself and through the energy of the girls.
Since there's no audience, we are our own cheerleaders. So we decided to cheer everyone on so that if you're in the front of the stage, you would still hear our cheers all the way from backstage. You would still feel the hype of the moment. And we just enjoyed each other's company backstage when it comes to that. We decided to make the entire experience a happy experience with our cheers and some food, always food.
I like it when everyone was just having fun. So whenever everyone's getting really serious, I would dance a bit, I would throw some jokes, I would try to lighten up the mood. So people got shots of us making videos, making fun of the choreography. I'm sorry, Darick. But yeah, that makes it less taxing, I would say. It wouldn't make it feel like we're in the middle of a competition. It would feel like we were just presenting, or like in a fashion show, or just a regular show. So I think that was fun.
People who know me know that I'm very competitive. And when I'm in the moment, sometimes I zone out. Like I was thinking, I was reflecting, I was preparing myself mentally, emotionally during that time. And I remember while the rest of the girls were having a chit chat, I was afar from them because I was practicing. I was trying to build my thoughts. I was trying to toughen up my spirit during that moment. And I know that a lot of girls have misunderstood me because they know a different Rabia before the pandemic. And when I was in Baguio, they saw my other side. But it's not because I'm a bad person. It's just I really wanted to win the crown. And I really want to reflect. I really want to treasure, to savor that moment. And it's all about trying to have that right mindset. And I was able to find peace in the few moments before the competition began. So that's it. For those girls who misunderstood me, I'm so sorry. I'm not a bad person. It's just me trying to build myself in the moment.
What can you say tonight?
Overwhelming, but happy. So happy for all of us.
One word to describe today.
Amazing.
Tignan mo, hindi niyo ako pinasok sa top 5.
One,
Hindi mo ako pinasok
one
sa
word
top 5.
to describe
Mga kalaban ko
today's
sa
activity.
sa akin yung mga yun.
Unexpected.
When they said that everything was going to be taped, we actually had comments in the backstage that, can we just really crown the winner? Because that's one of the moments that you would wait for as a contestant, that crowning moment, that authentic crowning moment, because that's when you're going to really show what you're feeling. We were all crowned, Bella, Pauline, Rabia, and it was a experience that you can't explain.
We had different crowning moments. So the top 5, we had an individual chance to wear the crown. And it was funny because when we were at the backstage, we still have this friendly arguments because other girls would want to have to know the winner immediately. And I was telling them, you know what, guys? It's such a relieving factor, or it's such a refreshing thought if we're gonna get to have the chance to try the crown on top of our heads. And during that moment, I was celebrating already. I was telling myself that to be in a top 5 in my first national pageant, I feel like I already won. So it was me who was last taped for the crowning moment. And I remember I was telling Gaz, we had this little chit-chat when she was trying to put the crown on top of my head. And I said na, oh, baka magkita pa tayo sa Manila, ha? Then I said that because I remember we had also this conversation backstage, and Gaz congratulated me for doing really well, for performing really well. And yeah, that was it. And I made this joke because I was the last one to be crowned. Sabi ko sa mga girls, itatakbo ko na yung corona, ha? And that was it.
We filmed it. I was the first one to be crowned. And I didn't know if I was going to cry or not, because I was like, okay, like let's pretend this is real. Then I was about to cry. Tapos biglang, wait, it might not be real. So like, you know, it was kind of funny because I was like push and pull. I didn't know how I was gonna react. So I was like, okay, just smile and say thank you and you're good. You know, it was definitely something I did not expect. I thought we were just gonna film it that night, and I thought our phones were gonna be confiscated, and we were gonna be cut off from the outside world. But yeah, it wasn't something that I expected. I don't know if it was what I wanted initially, if it was what I wanted to do, because in that moment, you know, admittedly, I was so tired. I just wanted to sleep. And then knowing that we were gonna film every girl winning, it was like, oh, okay, we'll do this. But I'm happy how it turned out, because I guess the feeling that you don't know then what's going to happen until everybody else knows, then I think that was kind of, it made me feel like, okay, there's excitement to it, even if we were filming it already beforehand and all of that, and I didn't have to keep it from my mom, whatever happened, so that was a good feeling too. Yeah, I never expected it, but I think it was pretty brilliant, actually. It was a brilliant idea.
I was excited to go to the viewing party because that would be our last day, and then we would know our actual placements or who actually won. But it was also a bit awkward because there's only one winner, and to me, my personal favorite is Pauline Amelings of Bohol. So I kind of really wanted her to get the crown. So I felt sad for her, and she was crying, and I was consoling her, and I also felt sad. It was actually mixed emotion because first of all, I didn't expect to be a part of top 5. So I was happy about that. Even if I only got fourth runner-up, I was totally okay with that. I was fine. But I was really sad for Pauline. And most of my comforting side, I would say, was poured to her, to the point where I no longer had time to congratulate Rabia, who actually won. So it kind of got a bit awkward. And then the other girls weren't there anymore, so it wasn't as fun as I imagined that it would be.
Storm of emotions. Like when they were announcing the winners, of course, my name was called as third runner-up. You go into the viewing party with a hopeful heart and still hoping for the best, hoping for the top crown. And of course, if that doesn't happen, in my case, I felt a bit heartbroken. And maybe at some point I couldn't take it anymore. So I didn't want the people to see me crying like a baby for the entire time. So I ran to the bathroom at some point. And a heartwarming moment for me was when Billy followed me to the bathroom to comfort me. In that moment, I think I really needed a buddy to tell me, you did great, or you were amazing, and you're still a queen. And I'm grateful for her for having done that, to share that bathroom moment with me.
We had our pageant Friday, right? And then Saturday, we had rest, I think. And then Saturday night, as I said already before, unfortunately, I already knew, sort of course, hindi pa naman siya pinapalabas sa TV, but I sort of knew already what was going to happen. So, feeling bad, it really kept me up at night. As I wasn't able to sleep, I wasn't able to really get some rest and prepare because it was an early day the next morning to watch the pageant. So the next morning, I knew I was going to be late to go down and watch the pageant, so I was watching it through my TV in the room where it was streaming on GMA. So when I was watching everything, I knew that it was almost done. Like they were almost going to, we were towards Q&A already, or long gown already, if I'm not mistaken. So that's when I went down, and I said this already before, that when I was watching, it was really hard because you weren't going to win, and you know that all the efforts from the past 10 months at that moment felt so irrelevant to me.
Afterwards, maybe you guys know, I don't know, because I had an own viewing party in Bohol with my parents, with my fans and friends. They all convened in one place. Protocols were followed, don't worry. But they all had a viewing party as well. And they wanted to have a Zoom meeting with me afterwards to share the happiness and share the moment. And when I had that Zoom meeting after the announcement was made, if I was already crying to begin with, waterfalls just came out when I saw my parents, when I saw my friends. And I told them how heartbroken I was, how sad I was that I wasn't able to bring home the crown for Bohol, because I knew that would be the biggest thank you that I could give to my friends and my family who supported me through all this.
I was receiving a lot of messages and chat from other people congratulating me. And I still can't believe because during that watch party, we're still in the swimwear competition. So I told my roommate, Kim Crizaldo, that not until I saw my face being crowned, I'm not going to believe it yet. And then when Catriona tweeted and congratulated me, that's when I start messaging my mom, and I said, we made it. And I was shaking, I was crying. But to be honest, I was kind of sad because I didn't have that actual crowning moment in which I'm gonna feel that everybody is celebrating with me, everybody is happy with my victory. And I feel like during that moment, it was just Kim, Miss Jensen, Miss Ilocos Sur, who are happy for me. And it's kind of sad, and I don't want to be emotional about it.
There were already news circulating Saturday night that, oh, Michelle won. Even my family called me that somebody told them already, and my boyfriend told me na, hey, there was news that you won. And I was like, I don't know, like there wasn't any news yet on our end. So it was really hard to take everything in on that specific day because all the stress coming from being away for 10 days in that bubble and just all the pressures for 10 months, all the preparation that you had for the past 10 months, all came crashing down in that one day. And with all the questions that people were asking, why didn't you win? And I was like, I don't know. Like somebody really wins, somebody loses in the it's a pageant. It's a pageant, so it's normal. And when people were starting to ask me, I started to ask myself. I survived the whole night and still woke up in the morning, prepared and went down. But when it was just too much to handle around me, that's when I knew that I had to take some time for myself. And I knew that at that moment, it was selfish that I left Baguio suddenly, but it was a decision that I had to make for myself. For 10 months, looking back, you put the organization first, you put the people first because you joined the pageant, you put production first and all the requirements first. And that's when I knew that it's over, it's done, and now I can take some time for myself. So napaagad ang konti yung pag-uwi ko sa Baguio. I really went home by myself, not with the group. And I knew that at that moment, it's what I had to do. When I had time to think and really take everything in, it wasn't the result that pained me the most. It was the process through everything, or it was what or how I heard or how I knew or how it came about.
I actually watched it on the day with the rest of the top 5 in Baguio with the big screen and everything. We had the viewing, and although I couldn't completely focus on it because every now and then I'd talk to the girls or I'd talk to somebody else, after all of that, I think my first feeling was relief, because I was telling myself, probably in the middle of the pandemic or towards, when we were closing into Baguio, I was telling myself, okay, just give it your all, and whatever happens, you will get what you deserve, no matter what that is. So I wasn't really expecting anything specific, and all I was thinking was, okay, just do your best, just be yourself, show them who you are. And when I ended up as first runner-up, I was really happy. I was so happy. I was relieved because, of course, it's finally over. It's like, oh my God, all the hard work, it's paying off. That was my initial reaction, and then I started to get really emotional because it was, of course, in a good way. I was really, really happy. I got emotional because it's like I reflected on all the hard work that everybody did, all the effort, all the sleepless nights, all the early mornings, everything, and it was definitely an experience that will stay with me forever. It will stay with me forever.
I realized that you really need to undergo a lot of difficult moments of self-realization for you to be in that sweet victory. Because, success doesn't come easily. You really need to shed a tear. You really need to sweat. You really need to pour your heart in the things that you're really passionate about. And there was this moment that I was contemplating because I realized that I was having a struggle with my finances, joining pageant. I was emotionally unstable before the start and during the lockdown. And I was very thankful for all the people who pushed me, who supported me.
There are so many things why I'm very proud of Miss Universe Philippines 2020. Number one, we were able to fulfill the promise of reaching out to more people, to a bigger audience through digital and social media, our social media platforms. We were able to show better stories. I think in pageants kasi lagi nilang naiisip na parang it's all that glitz and glamour. Hindi mo makukuha yung depth talaga ng mga tao o ng mga contestants. But now we really showed that. And I think that's one of the greatest achievements that we have done was to bring out the best in everyone, not only the contestants, but the people around working for Miss Universe Philippines. The sponsors being with us also were very happy with the results. Our ratings were high, the highest in Philippine pageantry for local pageants. Imagine during the pandemic.
I'm also very proud of the people that I coached and advised and worked with. The very, very young team, very, very young creative team that I worked with, because it was really they who were working day and night. And up until the last minute, I'm not kidding, up until the finals night, they were working on materials, they were editing, they were revising, they were churning out copy tirelessly. And not once did they sacrifice on the quality. So I guess for me, what's phenomenal about our part in the pageant was the part that most people didn't see. It was the hard work and all the effort put into the videos that came out.
I guess the second thing that I'm most proud of is our contestants. They really worked hard for this, and I would like to really salute them for all the sacrifices they have made, they have done for the contest. I know it's not as easy as it seems, but I guess naman, and I hope no, until now, when you look at them, a lot of them enjoyed naman. So they really enjoyed the experience. It's one of a kind experience that you can take away from them. And to be able to be called your first Miss Universe Philippines contestant from your province, you know, or your city, is already a big achievement, and they have done a lot to represent their own cities or provinces.
If I were to describe my Miss Universe Philippines experience, it was both inspiring, humbling, and inspiring. Because I really learned a lot, not only through the experience, but also through the people around me. And it inspired me to work harder and to know that anything is possible if you really just go for your dreams and to go for what you want. And I know that afterwards there would be a lot of opportunities that would open up, not because you joined Miss Universe Philippines, but because of all the lessons that you learned from Miss Universe Philippines, of being part of a pageant, being part of something so challenging in the midst of a pandemic. I think it really made us into empowered Filipinas, because we had to go through all that, all the challenges, all the difficulties, and yet in the end, your greatest reward is to be a better person.
In my experience, it's the pageant that really teaches you to be a beautiful person inside and out, even outside of the pageant. Everything we had to go through, both before COVID and during COVID, it really teaches you how to grow. It teaches you how to bring out who you are. And that's a struggle, trust me, that's a struggle. Because sometimes you go into something thinking that you know who you are, and then you go through a lot of hardship, and then you lose yourself. But I can definitely say that coming out of Miss Universe Philippines 2020, I am more aware of who I am, and I can definitely say that I'm a more beautiful person inside and out.
Very hopeful that in the next edition of Miss Universe Philippines, we get, well, more sponsors, we got more advertisers, but we also get to tell more stories, and stories that talk about more kinds of people, you know, apart from the ones that we're used to seeing on TV or online.
Because we always have an element of surprise to the pageant fans. It should always be something new, something different, something which others haven't shown yet as pageant organizer. So I think what we could do now is to promise everyone, the pageant fans, for a better Miss Universe Philippines pageant for this 2021.
It's kind of weird because up until this moment, I'm not yet used to the fact that people now know my name. People do recognize my face when I go to public places. And sometimes I would pinch myself and is this really happening? Am I really part of the Miss Universe Philippines sisterhood? So it's a mix of emotions, I must say. I'm very happy, but at the same time, I'm pressured, but it's a good kind of pressure. And that's it. I feel like God has blessed me so much.
To become truly phenomenal, one should fully accept oneself. Your flaws, your imperfections, your strength, everything that makes you who you are. Because only then can you have the right ammunition, the right skill set, the right mindset to show everyone how phenomenal you actually are. And that's exactly what I did. And I consider myself as a phenomenal woman.
To become truly phenomenal, you must know yourself and shine your brightest.
To become truly phenomenal, there are a lot of sacrifices, a lot of challenges to overcome, but in the end, you are truly phenomenal if you never give up.
To become truly phenomenal, you must make the most of the gifts that you were given. Whether that's singing, whether that's walking, whether that's painting, whether it's talking. You have to find every single bit of who you are, make sure that you understand it, and then be proud of it.
To become truly phenomenal, you need to learn how to dance through the rain. You need to realize that life is a learning journey. For most of the time, you're gonna encounter a lot of failures. But sometimes, you can be successful in just one try. But to be phenomenal, it's when you get to realize that you can still be a blessing even in your lowest points.